Hey, hello everyone. Good evening. Hope all of you are able to see my screen and hope all of you can hear me. Can I have a quick confirmation, guys? Everyone, all of you are able to see my screen? Wonderful. Since it's a new link, I have been waiting for all the people. Balu sir wasn't trying, so he couldn't share it with you. Even I missed it. So, yeah. All right. So, let's start. So, what was the last topic that we have discussed? If I am not wrong, the last topic that we were discussed was the DM domain, demographics domain. Correct? So hope all of you are clear with this particular one. All of you know what is DM domain and how to proceed with this. Anyone, any questions on this? Even in day before yesterday's class, we also discussed about all the assignments related to that. Even the coding is done, correct? Right. Now, all I'm going to do now is for the same same demographic domain, I have designed a simple project. I cannot call it as a project. Consider this as a, I can say that not a complex or a big project. Instead, you can consider this as a mini project. All right, a simple mini project I have designed on demographics domain. I'm going to provide you the raw data set. Right, this is the one I'm going to provide to you, and you already have all your SDTM implementation guide with you. I think I have already shared that with you as well. Based on these two information, I'm going to provide you the mapping Excel also. You have domain mapping Excel, right? The mapping Excel also I will provide to you. Based on these three, you would need to prepare my DM data set. Correct? The data set should be as per SDTM compliance. That is what the requirement is. So today after the class, I will share these details. Work on it during the weekend. Maybe on Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday, I will follow up with you where you are on it. If you couldn't complete it, maybe in some time in the next week, I'm going to help you with the solution. All right. So demographic domain, we have already understand the theoretical part. We have also done the calculation part. Both of them we have completed. So the next step is going to be when someone provided the raw data to you, based on the raw data, how you are going to proceed with your details. That is how you can create your final SDTM data set, right? So that is the final thing. So I'm going to provide these details to you by today EOD after the class. I just drop a message in your chat window, and also I'll upload it in your WhatsApp. I'll request Baulu sir to upload in the drive as well. Okay, so post that you can work on it. All of you are clear with this? What is going to be our project one or mini project and what we are going to do there? Any questions here? Right. Now let's proceed with the next domain. Under the special purpose domains, we are discussing the special purpose domains. So under the special purpose domain, the first thing was demographics. We are done with that particular one. The second one we are going to discuss is SV. What is subject? What is the subject? Visits. Remember, this is going to be the most important domain for us, because this is going to tell us when the subject visit for each of the stage, meaning when the subject first visited for the screening, when the treatment started, what is going to be the follow-up. There are going to be three stages, right? From the beginning we are discussing about it. What is that? First, the subject is going to sign the consent form. Post that, the screening is going to happen. Once the screening is done, we will go with the randomization. Based on the randomization, the treatment, the arms are going to be decided. Based on that, the treatment is going to start. After the treatment, we are going to have the follow-up. Am I correct? This is what we are going to do. Every one of us keep just remember this particular sequence, because throughout the process, throughout our course, we will stick to this particular process. So that's the reason this process is very, very important to us. All right. Now I know ICF, I know screening, random treatment, and follow-up. All these dates are part of this. Correct? It is going to have when the subject came for the screening, when the treatment has started, and when the follow-ups are done. So forget about the randomization and yeah, ICF. But the remaining three are going to be the crucial stages here. So your SV domain primarily concentrate on all these details. Okay. So if you go to your implementation guide, this is your implementation guide again. We are talking about your subject visits domain model. Most of the variables are known to us. Most of the variables are known to us because we already worked on that particular one. So we will discuss, just like your DM domain, we are going to discuss about all those variables. Here the number of variables are less, right? You can see study ID, domain, unique subject identifier, visit number, visit day, your visit start date and visit end date, and you have study day of start of visit, study day of end of visit, and finally you're going to have your unplanned visits. These are only the variables which are present here. All right, so without wasting much time, let's start discussing about your subject visits domain. Okay, so before I start with this, guys, do any of you have any questions? Team, can I have a quick confirmation?
Mostly just one thing here.
Yeah.
Basically, there's a particular sequence in which we program, right? When we get the raw data, for
Mhm.
example, we start with the DM domain, and then later on we take other domains. So, can we also plan these sessions that way, or how are we doing it? I just had this query.
No, we are planning in the same way. We completed the demographics domain first, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And the coding part related to that is also completed, basic
mm-hmm,
coding part. And I'm going to
mm-hmm.
provide you the raw data sets. That's what I mentioned now. So first you are going to convert your raw data sets into demographics domain data set by understanding all the details we mentioned in the previous classes. Correct? So that is the first
Uh,
thing. Once DM is done, next most important thing is going to be subject visit. So that
uh,
is what. And
no,
when it
Murli,
comes to
what I meant was there are actually interdependencies of the variables with each other. So
true,
yeah, so after DM, it's always we start with SV as the next domain, or we take SE or some other domains like DS or something. So that is what was my
no,
question.
I'll tell you that. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. As long as you are learning, you don't need to worry
Mm-hmm,
about this, because
mm-hmm,
see, if I go with the subject visits now, the subject visit domain has a lot of dependencies. I can say that there are a lot of dependencies on other domains. If you mean to say, especially
correct. Yeah.
this particular one, it has a lot of dependency on a domain name, which we can call it as a TV,
Mm-hmm,
because some of the variables and its values we can actually merge, or we can actually take from TV domain. But if
mm-hmm,
you go directly to the TV domain, it won't be good.
mm.
So where and all dependencies are there, I'll mention that there is a
Yeah,
dependence. We
yeah,
are
yeah,
going to
yeah.
take a particular variable from the this particular domain,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, that works. Yeah,
I'll mention that. No worries
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
once we complete all the domains, right? When we are going with the projects, you can easily understand that.
yeah,
And
correct.
also
Yeah.
remember that in the real time, you will work on these domains independently. Let's say if
Mm-hmm,
someone assigns the demographic domains to you, you only work on the demographic domain. After completion of that, you'll go with the other domains.
mm,
Only when you have limited number of resources and when you have ample amount of the time, one developer can go with more than one domain, right? So most of the times your domain thing is going to be independent. So no worries about it.
Yeah.
Clear?
Yeah. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So let's start discussing about this particular one. So here are some of the variables we are already aware of. The remaining variables we discuss. So to start with the subject visits domain, right? Oops, just a sec. So in the subject visit domain, so first we need to understand the nature. The nature is going to be, this domain is specifically used to capture both scheduled and unscheduled visits data, right? Domain used to capture both scheduled as well as unscheduled visits data. That is the main core, or I can say that what is the main purpose of this particular domain is, it is going to capture the both scheduled as well as the unscheduled visit data. Again, we also need to understand how the records are going to be, right? It is going to be one record per subject per visit. Remember this. When you go with your demographic domain, it is going to be one record per subject. One subject will have only one record there. But here, when you look at the subject can have more than one visit. So you're going to have one record per subject per visit, right? Next thing, the topic variable. We all know what is going to be the topic variable. It will mention and it will give the focus about what is this domain is all about, correct? So what is going to be the topic variable for demographics domain, guys? Can someone tell me? Demographics domain topic variable.
Subject ID.
Exactly, subject ID. Because we are talking about the subjects, it is going to give you the subject information. SUBJ ID is going to be the topic variable there. Here, the topic variable is going to be visit number. Is going to be visit number. Right, what is this visit number and what it is going to deal with, we are going to discuss in detail. Okay, the next thing, so we are going to have identifier variables, right, in every domain. What are the identifier variables for your demographics domain? Can someone please tell me?
Subject ID.
Only subject ID?
Use subject ID.
Okay, first of all, subject ID is part of your identifier variable there.
Study ID.
Gender.
Study ID.
Study ID, yes.
Yeah.
Unique subject ID and domain. Am I correct? These are the three things which are going to be considered as the identifiers. Your unique subject ID already having some part of your subject ID also. But if you go with the identifier variables, these are the identifier variables there. Similarly, even for your SV domain, these three are going to be your identifier variables. Okay. Apart from that, as just like our previous domain, we are going to discuss about what is going to be my variable name, and each variable we are going to discuss in detail. So let's start with the first one. Study ID, you already know, I don't need to explain this. What is study ID? I can simply call this as a study identifier. What is the study that we are doing? That study identifier. Second, domain. You already know what is domain because this we already discussed in the demographics. It is going to be your domain abbreviation. Correct? It is a two-letter thing. When it comes to the subject visit domain, it is always going to be SV. Correct? And you also know what is called use subject ID. What is use subject ID? Unique subject identifier. How you are going to calculate this? It is going to be a derived variable. It is a derived variable. Yeah, you are going to calculate this based on concatenation of what are the variables?
Study ID.
Yes,
Site ID.
study. Yeah,
and subject ID.
it is going to be study ID site ID, which is nothing but where this particular thing is happening, that is your clinic or hospital or other details, followed by subject identifier, which is nothing but the SUBJ ID. All right. The same thing is going to happen here also. It is going to be the same thing even under your SV domain. So these three variables we are already aware of. So simply we just talk about this and we can leave about it. The next thing is going to be the most important thing. You can call it as visit. What is visit? It is nothing but your visit name. There are a bunch of visit names. Can someone tell me what is going to be the visit name? We can also call it as name of the visit. Both of them are same. Can someone tell me what you mean by name of the visit? Can someone please share me some of the examples for this?
Like visit 1, visit 2, follow up.
Yes. Visit 1, visit 2. Again, visit 1. What is visit 1?
So it would be treatment
Before the treatment?
or screening.
Wonderful. So anything generally starts with screening in general, correct? First, the subject need to be screened. Second, day 1. Maybe this is the first day of his treatment where the subject is actually undergoing with the treatment. After a week, the subject is coming for the follow-up, week 1. After 2 weeks, subject is coming. After 5 weeks, subject coming. It can be 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, any number of weeks, right? Let's say my treatment is ending on week 8. So week 8 also coming. But in general, in middle of this, subject can also have some unscheduled visit, right? For unknown reasons. When the subject is not well or anything, subject also can have the unscheduled visit, correct? So visit is nothing but it's a name of the visit. And if you go, you can also check in your implementation guide here. It's a visit name. It is going to be defined, protocol defined description of clinical encounter. What do you mean by that? In the protocol, what is mentioned that we are going to be using here, correct? Right. Then second, then the next one, visit name, sorry, visit number. Visit number, the most important and the crucial one. So the visit number, you already identified it as a topic variable, correct? It is simply the visit number. It is also a topic variable to us. We already discussed at the top. Remember, this particular one, you can actually get this particular one from the TV domain. Sanchi, this is what I have been telling to you. So
Yeah,
this
understood.
one will be populated based on TV domain, right? You have trial visits, right? Based on the trial visits domain data, you are going to populate this particular one. Again, in the trial visit domain, right? In TV domain, this will be populated based on protocol, based on your protocol. This generally you can get it from the your protocol itself. Okay, let me tell you how it looks like. For an example, there is no standard order. Each one is going to follow a different thing here. For an example, maybe I can call this as an example here. Remember, your visit number is nothing but a numeric variable. You can see here. Visit number, clinical encounter number. Decimal numbering may be useful for inserting the unplanned visits. Numeric version of visit used for sorting. Numeric version of visit used for the sorting. That is, for an example, let's say first initially we are going with the screening. This is nothing but your visit, right? This is your name of the visit, right? So based on the visit, we are going to give the number. Let's say initially screening is happening. So I'm just giving this as 1. It is a 1, just numeric 1. What is the value of the visit number now? 1. After this particular one, after the screening, on the day 1, my treatment has started. I'm giving a number as 2. Then After a week 1, that is, we had a follow-up after a week. After week 1, the patient again visited 3. Right? Now, suddenly something happened to this particular subject. So unscheduled visit is happened. Unscheduled visit 1, first unscheduled visit. So actually he is supposed to come after a week 4. Let's say that after week 4 or week 5, the patient want to come for the next follow-up. So ideal case, it's supposed to be 4. Correct? This is scheduled. Since unscheduled appear between the week 1 and week 5, we are just giving it as 3.1. That is, previous schedule is 3. My next visit number is going to be 4. In between that, I'm just inserting this particular number. After week 5, the patient supposed to visit by week 8. Let's say that is the next follow-up. So this is going to be 5. After that, again the patient need to be visited by week 12. Oh, sorry, I'm writing week as a wrong number. Oh, it is correct. Sorry, week 12. In the week 12, it's supposed to be 6, right? Let's say in between these two, there are 2 unscheduled visits. Between week 8 and week 12, there are 4 weeks in the middle. Patient is not well for some reason, so he's going to have some unscheduled visits there. Correct? So this is unscheduled visit 2. This is going to be unscheduled visit 3, but this happened between the 5 and 6, so it is going to be 5.1. It is going to be 5.2. Is this understandable? How it is happening? Let's say if you are screening, if your entire study is happening over a span of 12 weeks, your screening is the initial one, which is nothing but your visit number equal to 1. On the treatment day is going to be your 2. Week 1, which is going to be a 3. Any unscheduled, it is going to followed by dot 1, 2, 3 like this, and it continues. Are you able to understand how it is going to be? Let's say if there is another sponsor, the sponsor will go in with a different numbers. He may start with 4, 5, 6 like this, but there is always going to be an order. I can start from 1, I can start from 0. Let's say I can start screening as 0. Nothing wrong in that. Correct? So visit number is nothing but it is a visit number. It is a topic variable. Generally, we populate this data from the TV domain. In the TV domain, how the data is, this is the example for it. Can I have a quick confirmation? Or if you're able to follow this? Yes or no?
Yes, Murli, it's clear.
Perfect. Any questions from anyone other than Sanchi? Sanchi just mentioned clear. How about others? Perfect. Cool, guys. Next. Once I have the visit number, then I need to think about visit day. Visit dy. This is also be populated from the TV domain only. This is nothing but planned study day of visit. It is a planned study day of visit, right? Now, most important thing that you need to understand here is it is also will be populated based on the TV domain only. You remember DMDY? In the demographics domain, we have DMDY that we are going to calculate, remember? Right? So the DMDY values will be mostly negative there. Either it can be negative or it can be 1, but it is not going to be 0. This is what I discussed, correct? If you want, I can pull the details, means I can pull it up, but you understand and you already know that particular one, correct? If not, let me open this. All right, because we have DMDY here. So this DMDY is equivalent to this particular one. So what is DMDY? Study day of collection. This is study day of planned visit. Okay, you can see it is a derived variable. I told you that most of the times it will be negative only if the screening and your what is that? What to say? your treatment start date, if both of them are on the same day, only in that particular case it is going to be positive. In all other cases it is going to be a negative variable. Correct? So similarly here we have our visit dy. But when it comes to the visit dy, it will be populated as per the study domain, TV domain only. Okay, let me tell you in the TV domain how it will be populated. Okay, so for that, let me go with a very simple example. Let's say I have some subject ID here. All right, and let's say that a visit happened. I'll tell you what is that visit. Every visit has visit number, and then we are going to have visit day. What is visit day? Planned, subject, visit day. Then I haven't discussed about this SVSTDTC. I'll talk about this now. We also have SVENDTC, right? SVSDTC. Let me talk about this and I can again come back to this. And finally, you're going to have RFSTDTC. This you're going to get it from your demographic domain. And then we have SVSTDY. And we also have SVENDTY. Let's say these are all my variables. We are going to discuss all of them. One by one we populate and then we can discuss together. All right. So let's go with one by one. In this, you already know what is called your subject ID, visit, visit name, and visit day. Up to this, you are clear. Correct? Now we need to talk about this particular visit day. I told you this visit day is going to be populated from your protocol document itself. For an example, let me write few of the things. 111 is going to be the subject ID. He actually appearing for the screening. So the visit number is nothing but 1. Then we have visit day. I'm saying visit day is equal to -7. I told you that it is going to be populated from the protocol. Again, I'll give you the justification how it is going to be calculated as well. Let's say what is the date today? Let's say 2022-04 followed by 22, right? Let's say go with 01. 0401. 2022-0401. This is going to be my, maybe I can put this as a text so that I can have it in my same date format. 2022-0401. Okay. Then I need to have an end date. Correct? So let's say my end date is going to be 2022-04. I want to have let's say 07, right? I need to have this also in the similar fashion because we are following the same ISO 8601 DA, right? So I need to go with the same one. So it's supposed to be 07. Then we have something called your treatment start date. Correct? That is going to be the next one, right? So the treatment start date, I just want to have it one day after it. Let me apply the same format and then I just give this details. Don't worry, don't feel confused. I'll explain one after the other. Then we have SVSTDY and SVANDY. These two are going to be the calculated ones. I'll give you the formulas for these two. Okay. So first, let's say visit day. So to talk about this particular visit day, I'll go with one more record and I will talk about that. So it's again for the same patient. I told you same patient, one record per subject per visit. Correct? So let's say he is coming for the second visit, which is nothing but day 1. This is nothing but your visit number is equal to 2 here. Let's say visit day. Visit day is equal to 1. Then I'm going to have start date as the same one, end date is also going to be the same one, RF STDDC is also going to be the same one. Let's say all these three values are going to be the same. Now let's not worry about this STDDY and DY. Now let's talk about only this. Let's say two records are there. Now before I explain how this visit day is going to be populated, let me talk about what is this SV STDTC and SV ENDTC. So you already know these details from your demographics domain. The similar way we are going to talk about this, which is this, you can call it as DM STDTC, DM ENDTC, the same ones. This is nothing but your start date and time of visit when you are visiting. This is nothing but your end date and time of visit. Same one, just like how you are doing there. Now let's understand this with an example here. Meaning there is a subject called 111. He came to the screening on 1st of April. The same subject, the treatment is started on, this is day 1 is nothing but a treatment day. Day 1 is nothing but a treatment day. The treatment started on 7th April. But when he came for the screening, 7 days earlier to this, correct? So always your day 1 is going to be the base. What is that? Your day 1 is going to be the base. That is when the treatment is happening. That is your base. This is your base data, or this is going to be your baseline. From the baseline, when the screening happening, I can say that the screening happened 7 days prior to this, because the treatment start date is 7th April, but the subject came for the screening on 1st April. So the screening happened 7 days prior. So my visit day is equal to -7. Is that clear? Can I have a quick confirmation from everyone? Is that clear? Maybe I can give you one more row here. Let's say again this guy is coming for week 1. The week 1 is nothing but your third visit number. So here it is going to be 7. That is, his start date is this. From there you are going to have 7 days, correct? Which is nothing but, can I say something, 21 to 7 days, 7 to 7 days, 14. So 2022 04 14, right? Is that clear, guys? And your RF STDDC, that is treatment start date, this is going to be the same. It won't change. It won't change. It will be remains going to be the same for the throughout this, because this is going to be a treatment start date. Correct. The treatment start date will not change. The treatment start date. Oh, this one I put it wrong. No. This is 8. Then this is also going to be. Guys, 1 second. Something I calculated wrongly. This is going to be your start date. This is going to be your 8. It is 15. Yeah, now it is correct. All I'm doing here is just I'm explaining this one more time. All of you just follow it. This is the first scheduled visit. The patient has come for the screening. The screening happened for a span of 7 days. That is from 1st April to 7th April screening happened. What is screening period is going to be 1st April to 7th April. 7 days the screening happened. So what is the first start of this particular visit is SVSDDTC. So if you consider this as a visit, this is going to be a start date of visit. This is going to be end date of visit. And finally, you are going to have treatment date, treatment start date. This treatment start date anyways is going to be same. Let's say we want to start this treatment on 8th April. So the next day, the patient has come for treatment. That is, day 1 is nothing but the treatment. So when the treatment started, 8th April. When the treatment finished, on the same day. So what is the treatment start date? It is going to be 8th April only. I asked the particular subject to visit again by after a week. So after a week is nothing but, so from here I need to calculate, right? After a visit, we requested the patient to come again. So when we requested the patient to come again after a 1 week of time, this is for the follow-up. This is for the follow-up. So the patient visited the hospital again by 15th April. It is just a follow-up. He left the hospital again by 15th April. But the treatment start date remains is going to be 8th April. No changes in that. First of all, these 4 values, all of you are able to follow? Yes or no?
Yes, Murali.
Yeah. Now each visit has a visit ID 1, 2, 3. All these 3 are scheduled, so I just have 1, 2, 3. Now we need to calculate visit day. Visit day anyways is coming from the visit day. We need to calculate. Let's say this visit day, how is going to calculate it? Let's see here. Let's say this is visit day. Visit day is nothing but from the baseline you need to see. What is baseline? When the treatment happened, this is my baseline. This is my base. So whenever the treatment is happening, that is baseline. We call it as 1. Now, screening happened 7 days prior to it, correct? It is on 8th April, but treatment happened on 7th April. So my visit day is going to be 7 days before my visit day. Am I correct? It is 7 days before my visit day. So minus 7. When the follow-up happened, first follow-up, week 3, this happened 1 week after your visit day. So after your treatment day, this is plus 7. Let's say we go with another one. So we requested the patient to come after, let's say again after week 3. So week 3, from where you are calculating? I'm calculating week 3 based on my baseline. From 8th April, after 3 weeks, I'm expecting my patient to come. So 8 plus 7, 15, 15 plus 7, 22, 22 plus 7, 29. 29th April, the subject is visiting again. On the same day, he can leave also. On the same day, he can leave also. But my treatment start date remains going to be the same, 8th April only. No changes in that particular one. Correct? But what happened to the visit day? The visit day is going to be 21. Wonderful. Now you understand how to calculate your visit day. All of you, can I have a quick confirmation, guys? Now you understand what is your start day of visit, end date of visit, treatment start date, which is actually coming from your demographic domain, what is called your visit ID, and what is called your visit day. Can I have a quick confirmation from everyone? All of you are clear with this particular one? Yes or no? All right. So can I go with the remaining variables? Yes or no, guys? So if I go to my notepad again, so we have completed our SV SDTM and we have also completed our SV ENDTM. These are similar to DM SDTM, DM ENDTM. So that's the reason we spend enough time on demographics domain. From there, everything is going to be easy. All right, the next one. SVSTDY, SVSTDY, which is nothing but, you can see in your Excel, SVSTDY. So what is this one? This is nothing but study start day. It is a derived variable. How you are going to derive it? You are going to derive this based on two things. Derived based on calculation is based on two variables. What are them? SVSTDTC, that is when the schedule visit start day is there, that is scheduled start date and time of visit, and your RFSDTTC, which is nothing but treatment start date, which is actually getting from the demographics domain. Right. So again, the formula is going to be 2. So the formulas are going to be here. Let's say, let me write the formulas. So the first formula is going to be, when I want to calculate this SVSDTTY, which is equal to subject visit start date and time minus your treatment start date plus 1. Do you get any remembrance of this particular formula? We have calculated a similar thing in your DM domain also. Remember that particular one? Correct?
Yeah.
This is going to be your screening. Your subject visit is earlier. Your subject visit is before. Yeah. Maybe I can write like this. When SVSDTTC is on or after, this is on or after your treatment. You remember this particular one, guys? We have the similar stuff which we also discussed here. Let me scroll down a little. Yeah. DMDTC, here it is. Correct? So for DMDTC, we have done the calculations also. What is the calculation we have done? We mentioned that DMDTC is nothing but DMDTC minus RFSDTTC plus 1. If it is going to be a study start date, there also I mentioned already, if it is going to be a subject visits, I can replace this XX with SV. The same thing we are doing here. This we are going to do if this particular start date and time on or after your treatment. If it is happening on or after treatment, this is the case. What is the second thing? What is the second thing? Again, you are going to calculate the same, but I don't add any plus 1. Simply, I can go with, it is going to be SVSDTTC minus RFSDTTC. This is when your SVSDTTC is before your treatment. Correct? Now calculate this particular one here. What is this? Your subject, your visit start date minus treatment date plus 1. Go with the Excel. Where is your SVSDTC? This is the one. Then what is your RFSDTC? This is the one. So how you are going to calculate this now? Can someone please help me with this? What is this particular value? Can I say that your SVSDTC is on or before or after? Can someone please help me with this?
It's before.
Right. If it is before, what is the value? SVSDTTC minus RFSDTTC. That is 0, 1 minus 8, which is nothing but minus 7. Right. Clear? What is the second one?
Both are equal.
If it is on or after means SVSDTTC minus RFSDTTC plus 1. That is 0 plus 1, which is equal to 1. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one, if it is after, that is, it is SVSDTCC is after the treatment, simply I'm going to subtract it. 15 minus 8, which is equal to 7. All of you are able to follow how we are calculating this? I'm considering these two rows for calculating this. I'm considering this and this. If my SVSDTC is before my RFSDTC, then how to calculate? Simply I'm going to subtract it. I subtracted here. If it is on or after, I have to add 1. I have done this. Correct? Hey, this is 8, right? Sorry, the next one. If it is on or after means I have to add 1
Yeah.
also, correct?
That should be 8.
8.
Yeah,
That's what I'm asking. That should be 8, right?
correct, correct.
Okay. Yeah. Now, this is also clear. Now let's go with the end date. That is SVSDTTEY. Same thing I'm going to copy paste here with a small change. And the change is here. Instead of SPDT, I'm going to say END. This is study end day. When the study is ending, it is also a derived variable, but instead of the start date, I'm going to use the end date. That's the only difference. Correct? SVENDTC. Right? Again, the formulas are going to be the same. What are going to be the formulas? If it is on or after, then my SVENDTY is equal to this STT. I'll replace with EN. That's it. Rest all going to be the same. No changes at all. Correct? Remember, in the DM domain also we discussed the same. ENDY is equal to end date and timestamp minus treatment start date plus 1. It is going to be the same there also, right? So now let's do the calculation. Come here, my end date. So how to calculate the end date? I need to concentrate on these two now. I'm not going to be interested on this. No end start date. Instead, I'm going to concentrate on the end date. This is the one. Correct? How we are going to do? If my SVSENDTC end date and timestamp is before my treatment day, it is simply going to be this minus this. Correct? SVENDTC minus RFSDTC, which is equal to minus 1. Yes or no? All of you? If it is on the same day, subtract plus 1. 1. Here, I'm simply going to subtract it. 15 minus 8, which is going to be 7. Correct or not, guys? All of you, can I have a quick confirmation? Are we doing in a right way? If it is going to be before, right, one calculation. If it is going to be after, there is a different calculation. The calculation is going to be NDTC minus your treatment start date plus 1. Correct? The same calculation is be applicable here as well. All of you are clear with this? Is it simple?
Yes, Murli.
Right. So let me put this particular calculation here for your reference. I'll rearrange it, don't worry. Just give me a second, I'll rearrange it, otherwise it would be difficult later. Only one variable is pending after this, and that one variable is nothing but, just a second. Yes, this is done. So one last variable which is present, and that last variable is nothing but your SVU. Maybe I can type it. SVU PDES. This is nothing but it's a description of unplanned visit. What is that? It is a description of unplanned visit. Maybe I can include this here, then I can put it as one example directly. Right. This is description of unplanned visits or unscheduled visits. All right. So it is going to tell you what happened, right? What happened to that particular subject during the unplanned visit. That is the only thing it is going to tell you. What is that? It is going to talk about what happens to the patient or to the subject during unplanned visit. All right. This is all about all the variables which are part of your domain. You can see subject ID is there, domain is there, use subject ID, unique subject identifier, visit number directly coming from the protocol, visit, which is nothing but the name of the visit, visit day, we are going to calculate this particular one. So generally, this is going to be based on your treatment start date in the demographics domain. And then we are going to have start and date of visit, end date and time of the visit, study day of the visit, study end day of the visit, and description of your unplanned visit. Correct? And there are some small conclusions, or I can say that exceptions that we need to talk here. Let me talk about those exceptions as well, or the assumptions you can say. Okay, so most of the assumptions are not required, but one thing I would like to highlight here, this one you can see. For unplanned visits, see, records for unplanned visits should be included in the subject visits domain. For unplanned visits, right, we need to populate the reason for that particular unplanned visit. We need to mention that clearly, right? That is the most important thing. And another thing here is going to be, maybe I need to tell that, I forgot it. Just give me a second. Under the assumptions only it is there. I may lost it, but I'll tell you. I may lost it. I'll tell you that. Sorry about it. And you can see the example here also. Can you see the example here? Right? So it is only going to be for one subject. You can see the entire thing is for one subject called 101. You can see 1, 2, 3, and you can see this particular one for this particular 4.1, which is an unscheduled visit. And for the unscheduled visit, we don't populate what is the visit and what is going to be the visit today. This is what I would like to tell. I forgot this. What is that? For unplanned visits, we don't populate visit and visit day. I need to include this. For these records, we don't populate visit, that is name of the visit, and visit day. Both of them we don't populate because it is not per the protocol, correct? Visit is coming based on like what is going to be the next stage. Based on the next stage only your visit day will be there. But these two are not part of your protocol. So these two values will not be populated for this particular one. The most important thing. Next, for this particular one, reason for unplanned visit must be entered or must be tabulated in the domain. It must be. So for this particular one, if you see the example that is given here, this is evaluation of your adverse events. This is going to be the example for this particular one. So that is most important. Again, here you can see that screening and everything, it is as per our calculations. From the day one, that is from the baseline, you keep on calculating it. Correct? Everyone, any questions on this? Right? So this is about your simple, yes. Okay.
Murli, so we also have epoch as the variable in SV. So that value also we will get from trial domains.
See, epoch is nothing but, group of elements, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Group of phases. If my epoch is nothing but if my phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 together, these are three elements, means these three elements come together will come in the epoch. But epoch is not part of SV, it is part of SE.
Okay.
You can see this is the implementation guide. In the
Mm-hmm.
implementation guide, you don't find epoch. The epoch will be part of your SE.
Okay. Okay.
I'll tell you that. This is your subject elements, correct? So if you go to
Mm-hmm.
your subject elements, under the subject element, you can see epoch. That is our next domain. Okay.
Yeah, I think in SV there is an assumption related to epoch. I might be wrong, but
Let me go with that.
yeah.
So SV, under that, these are the assumptions. Under the assumptions, I don't see
The
here it is.
permissible. Mm,
So if
yeah.
this one or epoch are added, then the values must be those at the start and date of visit. But generally, these won't be available here. In general, see what the domain consists of. Those values we have given here. These are the various variables which is part of the domain, correct? And we don't have epoch here. When we don't have something which is part of the domain, even under the assumptions it is included, we don't consider that particular one. Sanchi, am I clear? We're strictly going as per the guide.
Yeah, but actually, when we see the data, the visits are as per the sites which are
Okay.
involved in the study. So, so the bifurcation of the site, because there are sorting which we do on TAET ORD. So this particular variable is dependent on trial arms. Uh,
Correct.
and in trial arms, we do have epoch, which distinguishes the TAET ORD. So I was just thinking if we have these value, in the sense, if we use these values in TV also, in that case, those might be permissible, but I'm not sure. So I just wanted to be
I
clear
understand.
whether, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I understand your question, but this will be taken care in the TV domain. In the TV, you can have it. There we can.
Okay.
That is the
Yeah,
see
yeah.
this variable is there, right?
Hmm.
TAETOR. This is the
Yeah.
variable we can get it from the TA, not from the which we can get it from the TA, that is your trial arm, but not from
Yeah.
your. And when this added, right, these
Mm-hmm.
values, the timing variables will be changed, not of your variables which are part of this particular domain. Timing variables will be changed. That you need to take care when you are merging multiple domains. At this particular point of time, we are not doing that, so we don't need to worry about it.
Okay. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, Murli. Got it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Any questions from anyone else? So we do have class on Monday, and Monday we are going to start with SE. And right after this class, I'll take maybe 15 to 30 minutes of the time, and I'm going to upload demographic domain requirements to you. Please go through that and complete the coding part for that. Consider that as your subject mini project. Consider that as your mini project. Even I mentioned the same name in your chat window, and I can upload it. Clear, everyone?
Yes, Murli.
All right. See you on Monday, guys. Thank you.